The midnight zoomies, also known as frenetic random activity periods (FRAPS), are one of the weirdest and most entertaining behaviors seen in pets, especially in cats and young dogs. It's that sudden burst of energy where your calm, sleepy pet transforms into a hyperactive tornado, dashing from one end of the room to the other, leaping over furniture, bouncing off walls, and spinning in circles with absolutely no warning. What's even more baffling is that this usually happens at the worst possible times, like in the middle of the night, when the rest of the house is quiet and asleep. For cats, this behavior is deeply rooted in their instincts. Domesticated cats still retain the hunting habits of their wild ancestors. Since many prey animals are active at dawn or dusk, cats tend to be more energetic during these twilight hours. When they don't have a real hunt to go on, they release that pent-up energy in the form of wild running and jumping. Dogs, especially puppies, also get zoomies when they're overly excited or have stored up too much energy from inactivity. You might see it after a bath, during playtime, or right before bedtime. While it might seem alarming, the zoomies are usually harmless and are simply a natural way for pets to relieve stress, express happiness, or burn off excess energy. However, pet owners should ensure the environment is safe, as zoomies can lead to knocked over objects or accidental injuries if the pet slips or crashes into furniture. It's also a good reminder to provide enough physical activity and mental stimulation during the day. A well-exercised pet is less likely to go full speed at midnight, although you can never fully predict when the next wild burst of energy will strike. Obsessive licking is a peculiar yet common habit seen in many pets, particularly dogs and cats. It might look amusing or even adorable at first, but when your pet starts licking everything from the couch and walls to thin air or even their own paws nonstop, it becomes clear that there's more to this behavior than meets the eye. Pets may engage in excessive licking for several reasons, ranging from harmless quirks to underlying medical or emotional issues. For dogs, licking can be a natural way to explore their surroundings, express affection, or soothe themselves. Some dogs will lick their owners' faces, hands, or feet as a sign of bonding and submission. Cats, on the other hand, are naturally inclined to groom themselves frequently, but when they start licking objects or air excessively, it might be a sign of stress or discomfort. One common cause of obsessive licking is anxiety or boredom. Pets left alone for long periods without stimulation often develop repetitive behaviors to cope with their feelings. Licking releases endorphins, which provide a calming effect, making it a self-soothing activity. Allergies, skin irritation, or even gastrointestinal discomfort can also trigger this habit. In such cases, pets may focus their licking on specific areas of their bodies, indicating physical distress rather than emotional need. Nutritional deficiencies or even neurological issues can sometimes play a role as well. It's important for pet owners to observe the context and frequency of the licking. Occasional licking is perfectly normal, but when it becomes constant or disruptive, it may be time to consult a vet or animal behaviorist. Environmental enrichment, like interactive toys, exercise, and attention, can help reduce boredom-induced licking. In some cases, a change in diet or medication may be needed to address underlying health problems that fuel this unusual. One of the strangest and most unsettling habits that some pets develop is staring at nothing. You're sitting on the couch, relaxing, when suddenly your dog or cat freezes, turns toward a corner of the room, and stares intently at something invisible. Their eyes are wide, their ears alert, and they don't move a muscle. It's enough to make you feel like you're in a ghost story. This odd behavior leaves many pet owners wondering if their furry companions are seeing something beyond human perception, or if there's a more grounded explanation. In most cases, pets staring at nothing is not as spooky as it seems. Animals have much sharper senses than humans, especially when it comes to hearing and smell. A dog may hear a high-frequency sound from an electronic device, a distant noise from outside, or even a rodent behind the wall. Cats, known for their incredible hearing and vision in low light, might pick up the tiniest movements from bugs or dust particles that humans would never notice. So what seems like a blank stare into space could actually be focused attention on a sound or scent that's just outside our range. In some cases, however, excessive staring into space could be a sign of a medical or neurological issue. Dogs and cats with cognitive dysfunction syndromes similar to dementia in humans may display confused behavior, including staring at walls or getting stuck in corners. Seizures or other neurological problems can also lead to unusual eye movement or fixation. That's why it's important to observe other symptoms alongside the staring, such as disorientation, pacing, or changes in behavior. While this habit is often harmless and simply a display of their incredible senses at work, consistent or obsessive staring with other warning signs should be checked by a veterinarian to ensure your pet's health is not at risk. Tail chasing or spinning in circles is one of the most amusing and puzzling behaviors pets, especially dogs, display. At first glance, it seems like harmless fun, your dog running in tight circles, trying to catch its own tail like it's a game. Sometimes they succeed, nibble on the tail for a second, then start the chase all over again. While it's often seen as a playful act, especially in puppies, there are deeper reasons why this strange behavior occurs. Young dogs tend to chase their tails out of curiosity or boredom. It's a moving part of their own body they can't quite understand yet, so they treat it like a toy. For some dogs, tail chasing becomes a habitual or compulsive action, particularly if they lack mental stimulation or physical activity. In households where pets are left alone for long periods or don't receive enough interaction, repetitive behaviors like this can emerge as a coping mechanism. Certain breeds are more prone to obsessive tail chasing due to their high energy and mental drive, such as German Shepherds, Bull Terriers, or Australian cattle dogs. In these cases, it may not just be play, it could be a sign of anxiety or stress. Medical conditions can also trigger tail chasing. Fleas, allergies, or impacted anal glands can make a dog's rear area itchy or painful, causing them to chase or bite at their tails for relief. In more severe cases, neurological disorders or seizures may cause this spinning behavior, especially if it is intense and frequent. Cats may exhibit similar spinning behaviors, though less commonly, and usually when startled or highly stimulated. While tail chasing is often nothing to worry about, pet owners should pay attention to how often it happens and whether it's accompanied by signs of discomfort or distress, as it may signal a need for veterinary attention or behavioral intervention. The habit of food hiding or burying is one of the quirkiest behaviors displayed by many pets, especially dogs and cats. While it may seem puzzling at first, it's actually rooted in their instincts and past survival mechanisms. In the wild, animals often hide food to protect it from other animals or to save it for later when food sources are scarce. Domestic pets, despite having their meals provided regularly, may still retain these deep-seated instincts. Dogs, for example, may bury their food or treats in the yard, under furniture, or even in their bedding. This behavior is especially common in breeds that were originally used for hunting or guarding food sources, such as terriers and retrievers. Cats exhibit similar behaviors, often hiding their food by pushing it under objects or in corners. This is not necessarily because they dislike the food, but rather due to an instinctual need to save it or to protect it from perceived threats. In some cases, pets may also hide their food as a way of keeping it safe from other pets in the household, especially if there is competition for food. It's not uncommon for a dog or cat to stash their food away in an attempt to ensure they have it all to themselves. Sometimes, food hiding can be triggered by anxiety or stress. A pet that has had past experiences of being deprived of food or has been through periods of scarcity may develop the habit of hoarding food, even in a secure and well-fed environment. In other cases, boredom or a lack of stimulation may cause pets to develop these odd habits. While this behavior is generally harmless, if it becomes excessive or compulsive, it's worth paying attention to. A sudden change in a pet's food behavior could indicate a health issue or underlying stressors that need to be addressed. One of the most amusing and bizarre behaviors in pets is their tendency to sleep in the strangest positions. While it's perfectly normal for pets to sleep a lot, how they choose to do so can leave their owners in stitches or scratching their heads. Dogs and cats are often seen sprawled out on their backs with their legs stretched out in the air, making them look completely vulnerable and out of control. Others might curl up into tiny balls, wrapping their bodies into tight, contorted shapes that look uncomfortable, but seem to provide them with a sense of security. Some cats may even sleep with their heads upside down, completely oblivious to the world around them, looking like they've been placed there by accident. For pets, these strange sleeping positions are often linked to comfort and safety. When a pet sleeps on its back, with its belly exposed, it typically indicates that they feel secure and relaxed in their environment. The belly is a vulnerable area, So when a dog or cat is comfortable enough to sleep in this position, it's a sign of trust. On the other hand, when animals curl up into a ball, it's a natural instinct to conserve warmth and protect vital areas of their body, particularly if they're feeling cold or threatened. Sleeping with unusual positions can also be a sign of flexibility or an attempt to find the coolest spot in the house, especially on hot days when pets often seek out tile floors or other surfaces to stretch out. Despite how awkward their positions may look to us, they're often perfectly content and getting the rest they need. Some pets even alternate between quirky positions, depending on their mood or the level of comfort they feel at the time, offering a glimpse into the fun and unpredictable nature of their personalities.